Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you again so much for our time together. There are seasons that we go through in the world in which the ministry becomes corrupted. And especially in today's news world, it always seems to get magnified. And as a Christian, you could begin to worry about, with all the corruption in the ministry and all the yuck in the ministry, is Christianity real? Is God still real? I want to share with you just a simple thought today out of 1 Samuel chapter 1. Year after year, this man went up from his town to worship and sacrifice to the Lord Almighty at Shiloh, where Hophni and Phinehas, the two sons of Eli, were priests of the Lord. Now look over to chapter 2, verse 12. Eli's sons were wicked men. They had no regard for the Lord. Now, these two young men eventually brought down the house of Eli and lost the Aaronic anointing, the anointing for the family of Aaron to be high priests over Israel. They lost it for the whole family because of their sins and because of the father's toleration of their sins. He put his children before God. But when you look at all that corruption that was going on, having sex with women at the altars, the exploitation of the people for the offerings, when you look at all of that, I want you to notice that God was still there. Here was this man who went up every year and offered sacrifice. Here was his wife's Hannah, one of the great miracles in the Old Testament where this barren woman gave birth to a son as a miracle of God. And that son later became the great prophet. Now, when you look at all of these things and you realize good people still went up to worship a good God, even with bad priests. Let me say that again. Good people still went up to worship a good God in spite of a corrupt priesthood. Now, sometimes as Christians, we have to look past the preachers. Now, I know none of us pastors are perfect, but there are some that are more corrupt than others, all right? But regardless, I would challenge you today to see past all of us preachers and see a good God who loves you and whose mercy endures forever. Good people come up to worship a good God. Good people come up to pray to a good God. They didn't stay away from God's house because of the corrupt preachers. Don't stay away from church because of corrupt preachers. Don't pull away from God because of corrupt preachers. Good people still go to God's house and worship a good God. Good people still go to God's house and offer prayers to a good God. And God still hears the prayers of good people. So please, forget about the preachers. You and God. Doesn't matter what the preachers do, doesn't matter how corrupt they are. You're not praying to them, you're praying to God. Keep your focus on God.